Hello, welcome to Making Stuff Up. I am Wendy Watkins, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I'm so excited you're here. Making Stuff Up is the intersection of creativity and mindset. We're going to bring that together today to support you in living your most delicious life. As a joy strategist and mental health advocate, and an artist, a professional coach, an author, and ukulele player, I know that everything is all made up. And now you know everything is all made up. So now that we both know that, you can actually put an MSU behind your name, right? Wendy Watkins -MSU, because I make stuff up. So today, my guest that's going to join us in Making Stuff Up is the amazing Shannon Willow. Shannon has been a colleague, friend, client, and is an amazing artist. She is the recognized lead artist at Shannon Willow Art. She is a lover of Mother Earth. She is a lover of all things human. She comes from her heart. And today she's going to join us as we make up some seed bombs. Now, what are you making up when I say seed bombs? I'm curious to know, and we'll find out soon. That is what we will be making today, is seed bombs. And I know that each of you will love Shannon, and you can connect with her, and she'll be sharing with us as well how she uses her MSU and how she uses that to support her in creating amazing murals, in making an impact in our climate. Oh, there she is. Oh, what are you doing there, girl?
Oh, I was in the breakdance room. Oh, wait, right? Wasn't that the breakdance room you put me in?
It was the breakout room.
Oh, breakout room. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
No, not that, sweetie.
Oh, okay, good.
One of those Zoom things that in the breakout room. But I was just telling everybody, all these gorgeous people that are watching us, about you. So say hi, everyone, Shan.
Hi. Thanks for having me, Wendy. I'm excited to be here with you today.
I know. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you've got a couple big projects coming up, these murals, and that bee behind you that you created is just beautiful.
I love the Bee Nation. There are people, you know, we need the people.
I
the
know.
Bee people.
Hanging out with the bee people yesterday outside.
Good.
It was good. It was good. All right. So we have some time together to play with our MSU. And we're going to start by getting everyone kind of connected with this whole seed bomb idea. I planted the seed bomb idea before you came on.
All right.
And I was wondering what people would make up about hearing about a seed bomb these days. What do you make up?
Personally, I feel like we have the opportunity to reframe the bomb idea, right? Because we can actually bomb people with love, bomb people with compassion, bomb people with empathy. You know, it's in a good way, in a gentle way. So I like the idea of, like, I think I'm going to make my seed bombs in a little heart shape, you know, so I can pass out some little heart-shaped pancakes, you know, for people to put in their yards and their gardens, and, you know, give the bees more opportunity to have their feed that they need, especially this time of year.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yes, the seeds I'm going to be using today are a pollinator seed blend, especially they're wildflowers for bees, butterflies, and birds.
Beautiful. I love that. Well, the pollinators definitely need our help. So
agreed. Yes.
You know, if you are gonna bomb like the ugly spots in the neighborhood, you know, it's good to use seeds that are good for, like, kind of, you know, not great soil environments, you know, maybe something that's a little more clay-ish or a little has more rocks or something in it. So, you know, there's a lot of seeds out there that are like the hardy kind of seeds that you can put in these bombs that, you know, then you can just toss it in your, you know, vacant lot up the street and see what happens, right?
Yep. Yeah, I heard somebody does that. They call it guerrilla gardening.
I love it.
Yeah, and they've gone in, you could Google it. I'm remiss of his name right now. but he talks about how he went into lower income neighborhoods, into these plots and empty yards and empty spaces of land, and started to nurture and growing gardens through bombing with seeds. So I love that too, Shan, what you're saying about, with the compassion and the love and the joy, all of that, it comes together. So let's continue the conversation, but let's get going and show people how to make the seed balls.
Okay.
So, you probably are not going to make along with us, but this is one of the simplest activities, and that is so fun for adults and for kids. Wouldn't you say, Shan?
Indeed. It's great to get the kids involved, and anybody that can, push the buttons of more people loving Mother Earth. That's really what we need. So this is just a great activity for that. Absolutely. And easy and fun too. So
yeah, super fun, and super fun gifts as well. So we have Mother's Day, all kinds of gifts, I think, for the ladies that love to garden. I shouldn't say ladies, there are plenty of men too. So, all right, so let's start by shredding some paper. So I'm just going to kind of shift my camera a little bit here, Shan. So here's some shredded paper. Shannon, I know you shredded your paper a little different. Yep, you kind of just yours up.
Mine's just hand torn, Wendy, just basic hand torn. I use some recycled paper from the World Wildlife Federation, from a mailing I got from them. So
nice.
It's hand torn.
Mine came out of the shredder. And what I had to do was I had cleaned out some things, and I shredded some credit cards. So if you do that, make sure you pull your plastic out of the balls. I have shredded. There's got to be maybe something we could do with that along the way, but not in this exercise.
No.
So then you're just going to take some water. I mean, this is very simple. You're just going to submerge your shredded paper in water. So pour some in, depending on how much how much paper you have is how much to submerge. And you want to just go a little bit up, and you'll let it soak for a little while. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to let it soak and soften. I've heard some people do this, let it soak overnight. I also saw something where that when they do this with kids and they do it in big bins, they have all the kids in there mixing it all up. But you can just spend a minute and mix it up, and then put it to the side, and you'll be able to. We'll come back to that in a little bit. So, and finish up making the seed balls. But in the meantime, Shannon, let's talk about the stuff that you make up. Now, as an artist, because I told everyone you are an artist, so
yes, ma'am.
I mean, you're making stuff up all the time. But so what does an MSU mean to you, and how do you use it in your life?
Well, I am a professional artist, so I actually pay myself to MSU all day long. It's really awesome, actually. I apply that in all my processes, really. I mean, even when I'm in the kitchen cooking, it's wonderful just to make what some people call stone soup, where you just grab everything, all your veggies that you have in the fridge, and you just have your certain ingredients that you use. But, in the meantime, you're not really following a recipe or anything. You're just using what you have on hand, right? Mm-hmm. And, in a way, art's kind of the same thing. I'm working on creating this living heart, anatomical heart that's going to hang in a tree. And so it's something that I've never done. And so part of the process is making stuff up along the way. Like, how is this going to work best? What materials do I need to create this, that it can actually sustain throughout the show, and actually stay alive throughout the show. But so, yeah, it's super fun, and experimenting, and, bringing in that spontaneity. I mean, you're a joy school master, Wendy, so you understand about how important it is. Like, we just live our lives in this spontaneous position, it just brings them more love, more joy. And, when you have that spontaneity with creativity, you're MSU and all day long. I love it. I'm thrilled, and I feel so honored, and, so much gratitude in my heart that this is, the kind of lifestyle I've created for myself. So, yeah, the MSU is hanging on the wall, big and strong.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, we've known each other for a long time. And so we both have written the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey, right? And when we talk about MSU, not only is it used in creativity and in cooking and in art, but it's also our self-talk, right? Any thoughts we think are really thoughts we've made up. So I'm wondering, how do you use your MSU when you are embarking on a new project? Does it serve you? Because I know sometimes for me, I could make up some stuff that doesn't sound so good.
Well, I mean, you're a very intuitive person, Wendy. And so I feel like I also have that gift. And, I think when we learn to really plug into the intuition, we know which part of the MSU is going to work and which part isn't. As business owners, we both know that, how important it is to have systems in place. And some days, you go off of those systems or whatever. But, for the most part, almost listening to those like divine interventions or divine downloads that we get throughout the day, oh, call that person. It's almost like your little MSU angel sitting on your shoulder, just waiting for you to take that inspired action or not. And then maybe that opportunity passes us by. So, I think in that, always listening to those little triggers of do this, do that, that we get throughout the day that really help bring the abundance in our life. It's just little opportunities that pop up, and, we need to be listening to those. So for me, I know how important the systems are, but then I also allow for the space to, bring the MSU out and when it serves, and, just listen to those moments that, often bring me to a new client or to a new project. So
yes.
yeah.
Oh, that intuition, those whispers, and so often, I know that for a long time I would push them away and not really listen, right? And things felt so hard when I was constantly not listening to the whispers. And as I started practicing listening more, they started showing up more and really were guiding me. My inner knowing, my future self, however you want to think about it, was guiding me. But we get to choose what we listen to. As much as we choose what we make up, we choose what we listen to as well.
Indeed.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
making time for making time for those little whispers. I mean, I find it so important. It's like we both talk about like what you put your attention on expands. And so if you get a download, hey, call that client or whatever, stop what you're doing and do it, because there's a reason that you got that hit right then, So I believe that fully, and I use that practice all day, every day.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So, sometimes I'll blow it off and then I'll kick myself later, usually,
You can make a note, but they say your angels won't wait, that they come and visit and then they leave because you've left it on the table,
Yeah. I've heard that same thing about ideas. Remember reading in Elizabeth Gilbert's book? Remember the Big Magic? She talks about
that book.
Ideas. Yeah, ideas come in, and like they come in, and you're like, oh, I like that idea, but I don't really know if it's for me or not. And you kind of let it go, and then like 2 weeks later, you hear that one of your friends is doing it. So it's like the idea left you and went on to the next person to grab it.
Yeah, I believe that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is that listening, right? Listening is so key. I love that. All right. Speaking of listening, how's your paper doing?
It's it's softening. It's definitely softening. I used a couple different weights of paper. So
all right, mush it around a little bit.
The recycled paper. Yours is probably going to blend a little easier than mine.
Yeah.
I have my little Cuisinart mini prep food processor. So I hope it works okay. I think it will. I mean, it's softening up nicely. So
all right, good. Well, we'll give it another few minutes and then we'll go ahead and start the blenders. We'll get the blenders going.
There's Nutmeg. She thinks it's a snack. She's like, give me a snack.
Nutmeg is Shannon's dog.
Nutter.
So Shan, oh, there she is.
Yeah, talk about making stuff up. Through the pandemic, I've made up so many Nutmeg songs. Like that's our thing. Nutmeg dance off song time.
And what's her favorite?
Do a lot of making stuff up. She's not always in the mood.
I get it. I totally get it.
Nutter.
So has there been a time when your MSU has not served you?
I mean, indeed. I mean, coming back to sort of like the cooking, sometimes you don't necessarily throw the right things in. I mean, I found myself, you know, through the isolation and being here and like, oh, I don't really want to go out to the store. Let me just use this instead of that. And then it's like, oh, that just doesn't taste too good. So like, yeah, there's definitely been times. But I would say more often than not, the MSU serves me very well. Of course, I'm in the arts profession, so of course it's going to, because that's part of the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I could make some good stuff up. Let me tell you, I could go down that worry, go into that worry place. That's where I'll tend to go.
Mm,
And have to, I mean, have my, what do I want to call it? Like when you have to stop, when I realize that I'm starting to make stuff up that's lowering my vibration, when I
yeah,
go into worry and doubt,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
wait a minute. I know they're cousins, trust and faith. And I need to go over there and hang out with them. But it's having that moment of realizing that I'm feeling
Mhm.
different and
Yeah,
kind of coming back to, wait, what am I thinking? What am I making up right now?
yes,
Right? Because it really
yes,
is. I've said this before. It's all made up, people.
yeah,
Right? No one comes and deposit thoughts in there. And if you think, well, I have these beliefs, well, beliefs are just a thought you think again, again, and again. And it's created a neural pathway that has become your belief.
right.
And, so you
And
can
it's a
change.
practice. So if you're going to
Yes,
change your mind, you're going to change your life. You have to practice that.
yes, yes. And practice is the key word, Shan.
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, it is all a practice. You said earlier that, it's like an experiment. What if we all looked at life like an experiment? And if instead of when something doesn't go the way we think it should, like a scientist, they just change an element or change the temperature or how much they use. Where for us, or I'll speak for myself, often for me, more so in the past than now, but when things have gone wrong, I'm really hard on myself. And now the recovery time is shortened where I can step into the lesson faster. But that's where the MSU doesn't serve me, really.
Yeah. Yeah. You, me, all of us,
Yes.
just the awareness, just bringing forth the awareness to understand. And like you said, shorten the process time of the low vibration space. It's okay to be, upset or whatever, like you didn't get this or that project. Have your time that you spend in that, self-loathing, I guess, and then you move on, like move on. How is this helping me? Like, look at all these beautiful birds, look at all these beautiful plants. There's so much of life to enjoy. Why be in that place? Like, what
Yes.
a bore.
Yes. Now, I do want to say this, that we are not playing light here on someone that is dealing with a mental health issue, depression, anxiety. I'm not saying that you could just think happy thoughts and go to joy. It's part of the puzzle, right? It's part of it. But we're talking now on just, in our mental health is at least a 7 out of a 10 and above. It's then easier to notice your thoughts and shift them. So,
Yes.
so just want to say that, like a disclaimer,
Yes. I
right?
was only speaking for myself and my
Yeah,
own practices.
yes, of
And
course,
so
of course.
I have those days too of lowness, and I allow it, and I allow the body to rest, the mind to rest, and unplug and just do something that's sort of just shifts my perspective, whether it's maybe a Ram Dass video or something, just to get myself back to remembering what works best for me, you know?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what a wise piece of wisdom right there for everybody, right? To know and have in your hip pocket when all of a sudden your vibration does get low and energy shifts. I mean, it just happens, right? The tide goes in, the tide goes out, the sun goes up, the sun goes down. We have good moments, we have not so good moments. It's just like part of it, but knowing what to do, watching a video. For me, it's getting outside. I know it's for you too, Shan. Getting outside, taking a walk, calling a friend, all of those things. So find that thing that's in your hip pocket. All right, girl, I'm going to go ahead and do some immersion here and move this
What
along.
you got? You got a zizzer?
I got a zhuzher.
I call that a zhuzher. Look at you, you're gonna zhuzh it up. I didn't think to use that tool.
Wow, I taught you something about tools. That's amazing.
Well,
All right.
I'm gonna, yeah, you do that. I'm gonna do this over here and see what happens.
All right, so when y'all have your paper softened and stuff, the next thing is to just zhuzh it a little to kind of, now I should have an apron on, but I'm going to. I just got to keep the zhuzher submerged. So really, I know, wait. You all get to make something up on your own right now. All right, so let's judge this. But this is the part where you're just kind of bringing the paper together with the water. And so depending on how much water you have in here, is going to depend on how much zhuzhing you need to do. Better going crazy. You know, I could make all kinds of stuff. I make stuff up all the time. I swear. I was thinking just now when I was saying that it all depends on how much water you have and how much zhuzhing you're doing. I mean, I could make something up about that and like same with how much water we have in our body, right? How much water we need in our plants. That depends on how much zhuzhing. All right, so.
Hey.
Ooh, I found some more credit card. All right, so let me show you all this. Got my mix together. You could see it's pretty watery, but it's all pulpy. So I'm just going to take, now Shannon had a good trick, and I think I'm going to follow that trick. Where did that?
Yeah, mine's pretty much super wet pulp too.
Yeah, so we need to drain it.
I'm gonna actually put mine in this t-shirt.
Yep.
And squeeze it out.
And I'm just gonna take the zhuzher out of the sink before I just hold it like old school and let the water come out. I'm losing some of the pulp, but that's okay for me. All right.
Now, Wendy, about how many, you know, do you kind of have I know you're making it up, but for your formula, do you have like how much paper to use? Or do you just kind of
I put in
experiment?
3 handfuls of paper.
Okay.
So I put in 3 handfuls of paper, and I will use probably, I don't know, I just kind of can feel the amount of seeds that needs to go in there, because you don't want too many.
This is how I'm doing mine, Wendy. I'm just squeezing the water
Into the t-shirt. Oh, y'all see that? I should have had a t-shirt like that. Because mine is now just, yep, I'm just.
And it's going on my rug, but it's okay.
Oh, not on the rug.
It could use a bath, I guess.
Hey, so for those of you watching, you know, feel free to leave in the comments anything that you are making up or that you would like us to talk about when it comes, or learn to create in the Making Stuff Up show. And if you like this, please subscribe and know that there'll be a weekly episode released. So, so glad to have you here and joining us for this seed ball extravaganza as we make stuff up together.
I chose zinnias, cosmos, and marigolds.
Nice. Perfect. All right, so you're going to go ahead and add your seeds. My paper, that 3 bits of paper went down to nothing. I could have like 1 giant seed ball.
It's good to know for future.
Yeah.
Purposes.
Yeah. So then all you're going to do is you're going to take your seeds, you're going to open them up, and you're going to pour some in. I wish I could tell you a number. I'm going to make up that, you know, depends. Like for mine, I'm not putting a whole lot in there.
Yeah, that's what they say, to not use too many.
Less is more. But with wildflowers, I like them real close together and big and bushy, right? So it's easy to do that. So once you get your seeds in there, just like I just did, well, I should have showed you, but I didn't. And because you can make it up. Then you just, I'm going to do it in one way. Shannon's going to do it in another, because that's how we roll here at Making Stuff Up. I'm just taking it and rolling it into a ball, kind of squeezing it together. And I will put it on a little tray. I'm using the wood because the wood will pull the water out. So you want to give them a couple days to pull the water out. And that way they'll dry nicely.
Mine are about the size of a grape.
Oh, I like that.
Little minis.
Yeah. Now they do shrink too when they
Okay, good to know.
when they dry. Because I'm going to show you some that I made a couple weeks ago, and you'll see that they were a little, I rolled them like golf balls, and they shrunk down to this. So you see, I kept them, I'm giving them as a gift in a ball jar with some shredded paper. And there you have it. You can give that as a gift to someone.
I love it.
Like we were talking about earlier, you can take them. Here's a finished one. And just throw them into areas that could use some beautification.
Like, Happy Mother's Day. Happy Father's Day too.
Yeah, good one. And you know, we're not advocating that you go onto private property and do this. Have fun with your seed bombs there. So are you going to try the hearts, Shan?
That's not working.
Yeah.
Well, the seeds I'm using are the Cosmos seeds, and they're kind of elongated. They're kind of like little baby sticks, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. But,
yeah.
they're a little bit hard to.
Well, let's kind of wrap up where we are, my friend, with one final question for you.
Okay.
What is one tip that you would like to share with these beautiful people that are watching us about making stuff up?
Well, I mean, since we're talking about seed bombs, you know, I'm going to have to kind of lead with grow, don't mow. If there's a place in your yard you can rewild and allow the plants and, you know, allow the natural things to just create a space in your yard that makes it wild, you know, it might inspire your neighbors to be a little bit more wild. So I would make up some new spots in your yard. That's what I would do. I leave loud, you know, wild places in my yard, and I don't have any grass though. You know, I grow for the bees. So I have clover, and, you know, I let all the dandelions, all the wild things go for the bees. So
yeah,
you got to take care of Mother. She's taking care of us.
I love that. And that is
Happy Mother's Day.
I love that. Let's make up that for Mother's Day, we're all going to go and do some seed bombing and love our mother. Make up all of that. We don't have to make up that she loves us. We know that, but let's make up that you love her and how you're going to show that love. So
yeah, I love that.
Willow, thank you so much for coming over and playing with me today.
My pleasure, Wendy. You know, I love you.
I love you too, girl. And y'all could find Shannon at Shannon Willow Art on the interweb. And you can also find us here. I bet she'll be back again. She'll definitely be viewing. I know that. But you could definitely find us here each week at Making Stuff Up. And I thank you so much for your time. I know how precious that is. And until we meet again, go create yourself a delicious day. Bye-bye.
Bye.